Now, when it comes to issues of abuse, women typically take center stage and men are virtually left out, except as the perpetrator. But the male folk actually do get abused too. And joining us to discuss this very delicate issue is Damilola Oluwatoyinbo. He's a motivational speaker and life coach and author of quite a few books. Welcome back to the studio.
Thank you so much, Titi. Great to be here.
Okay, so I feel like I shouldn't really be smiling that much.
It's a very serious issue we're discussing.
Yeah. So men in relationships, in marriages, the abuse of men in these relationships, is it real? First question.
It's for real. There's an international agency that did a research and they discovered that 1 out of every 3 abuse cases is actually women abusing men.
1 out of 3?
Yeah, that's remarkable. Wow. Unfortunately, because we have many movements and organizations that support women advocacy, women's rights, you hear more of the stories of men violating women. But from verbal to emotional and physical abuse, women also are playing their own parts, if I can put it that way. And what happens is most men are not wired to express or articulate their emotions intelligently. Okay. So they keep bottling these things up until there's some kind of explosion. Okay,
so from your experience with the counseling you've done in the past, what actually constitutes that abuse? So what is it that you hear happens between the man and a woman?
There are a variety of issues. I think that most people come into a relationship with a dimension of baggage. Okay. You know, some kind of historical antecedents, things that happen when you're growing up, violation, abuse, maybe personality issues as well, challenges, environmental pressure, sexual disorientation, a wide variety of things that could happen. Yeah. But at the initiation of that process is misunderstanding. Okay. You know, so somebody says something or does something and the other party goes like, how could you have done that? And then it goes from vituperation, expressive words, and then eventually people begin to get violent. I know of a case where this was going on for many years, up until the woman took it a notch higher and literally bit off the ear of this guy. Okay. They had to put the piece in an ice pack. I know that's a gory resort to those who are very sensitive. Yeah. And then they had to stitch it back, and eventually they had to go different ways. But at the heart of it is misunderstanding. And so I advise people that the moment you see there's some kind of disconnection or tension, you want to pay attention to it. Don't ignore the red flags or the red signals. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking about the fact that as men, they're mostly considered the stronger party, physically, but emotionally speaking, are they the stronger party?
My experience reveals otherwise. I think that most women are stronger when it comes to handling pressure, taking care of a variety of assignments and responsibilities, covering the home front, working a job 9 to 5, raising 3 kids in some cases. And some cases, not just about motherhood, it's also about just life and the expectations that society places on women to look a certain way, to be well put together no matter what they're going through. So women tend to have more emotional resilience than men do. So generally, a man is going to cave under pressure. He might not like lose his mind, but he might, you know, be pushed to cheat on his wife, or make the decision to cheat on his wife, or steal money, or break the bottles at the pub, or do something crazy, because we've not created a safe space as a society for women to cry, you know.
For women to cry?
Sorry, for men to cry. You know, so a boy is crying and go like, be a man, be a man. But the guy needs to cry. He needs an outlet. So if he doesn't cry, all of that becomes, so there are 2 things that happen when somebody is abused. Eventually, you're going to have an explosion or an implosion. An explosion is the violent outrage, the display, maybe smashing glasses, destroying cars, violating somebody. Implosion is mental breakdown. People get depressed, and depression is going to be the world-leading killer in, I think, about 10, 15 years thereabout.
Okay, so that being said, there are probably some men that don't realize that they're actually being abused. Now, it sounds like something that a lot of people shove under the carpet. But what exactly constitutes this abuse? How does a man know that he is being a victim of abuse, even if it's just verbal?
That's a very interesting one. I think that most men, anyway, are averse to disrespect.
Okay.
I think respect is one of the top 3 needs of any man globally. And having said that, what's abuse? Abuse is from 2 words: abnormal use.
Okay.
You know, so when you use something abnormally, then you're abusing the thing. So I think that if you begin to find a negative trend in the relationship, the way you're being spoken to, the way you're being addressed, or in certain things that you used to do before, and those things were being well appreciated,
okay,
you do those things now and then, you get talked down,
okay,
for doing those things. You want to have a conversation, expose it and say, okay, hey, honey, sweetheart, lady, girl, whatever. I've noticed that
okay,
it's as if I irritate you, or there are certain things I'm doing that are not rubbing well off on you. Could you help me understand?
Okay.
You know, so take the responsibility and say, ask for permission and say, you know, this is what I'm noticing. Could you help me understand how I can serve you better? How we can harmonize the relationship? How we can, you know, don't make it go like, oh, you know, you've been talking to me this way, now I'm going to talk to you another way. Because what happens sometimes is the man overreacts. Okay. And then he wants to stamp his authority, and then you have a cycle of tension and crisis in the home.
Okay, so I'm thinking now, in a relationship where a man is being abused, he doesn't want to speak out.
Yeah.
What do you think he should do?
Well, at some point, you got to speak out. So you either choose to speak out, or your health will speak out for you. Okay. So like the case I cited earlier, true life story, didn't make it up. At the end of the day, he had to speak out. Cry for help. So I think that you need to find a confidant in your life. Could be a spiritual leader, a life coach, a mentor, somebody you trust, a brother or sister, somebody in the family unit that you can trust with that kind of information, to say, this is what's going on. How do you advise I go about it?
And that should help along the line.
Well, that could initiate the process of getting help.
All right,
sometimes a long road. But
so you can check out Dami on hashtag AskDami and at AskDami.com. Make sure you visit there for more information, and hopefully we'll be able to answer more of your questions. Of course, we're also at TVC Connect with the hashtag WakeUpNigeria. Place your comments. I would love to know what you think about this particular issue.